Welcome to the Legacy of Light podcast, where we channel messages from the higher realms, taking you on adventures into the higher realm history of this planet, to golden ages, advanced civilizations, and sharing messages and news to support you on your ascension path. I'm Gabriella Kowalski, and
I'm POLINA Light. We are so delighted to be taking you on a journey of embodying your own divinity, exploring your beautiful, magnificent, infinite heart, and connecting deeper to your own beautiful eternal nature. Welcome, beloved friends. Welcome to Legacy of Light podcast with Gabriella and POLINA.
yay! Oh my goodness. This is the very first episode, and the first episode of many. We wanted to take a moment at the beginning to let you know why we're here, why we've created this, why this is different, potentially to other podcasts that you are listening to, and a little bit about us to start with. So, if you're new to me, I am an ascension and a mission and abundance coach, mentor, quantum speaker, all the things, supporting this gorgeous planet to ascend, creating new realities, new timelines within the higher realms of existence, and working with profound, gorgeous leaders around the world that are part of building a new earth for all. And ta-da! Polinka, what about you? Who is you?
I am a trans channel for the Galactic Federations of Light and found the Star Races. And here on planet Earth, my soul mission is to support beautiful collective field of humanity during the process of ascension and soul embodiment. I help beautiful planet to ascend, and I help beautiful souls to be in alignment with their divine source consciousness within.
Yay! Yay! And so that's a little bit about us. We've both been doing this work for a really long time. I've been inside of this work for over 2 decades, and Polinka spent pretty much her whole entire lifetime, connected to the quantum, and yeah, just spending her childhood and her teenage years, um, accessing the quantum field, and to be honest, sometimes not even quite knowing what was going on back then. And so we're excited to bring the cultivation of our lifetimes to serve you. We've spent a lot of time in the mastery and the precision of channeling from the higher realms of existence and bringing teachings of love and true light and abundance to the world. And so we invite you on a journey into the higher realms, a journey of heart consciousness expansion to anchor even deeper into the higher aspects of self, the most loving, most abundant versions of yourself, that each episode is a divine key into more and more of you, that at the end of each episode you feel even more delicious than when you first began listening or watching. And we want to take you on an adventure with the first, with the first episode. May even be like a double feature for what we want to cover. And that is, how did this come about? Because recently, a couple of months ago, a few months ago, we found ourselves called to go on a mission, to go on an ascension quest to Greece and to Egypt, and to anchor and go deep into the libraries of the gods and goddesses in Greece and Egypt. And for me, all I knew back then was we were going to be unlocking the truth behind the myths and legends of the gods and the goddesses. And we were going there on a mission, a beautiful divine mission. And so we want to share with you, because it is here in our journey through Greece and Egypt that we went on for, I think, about 5-week journey, that we were initiated and asked to launch this podcast, to share messages from the higher realms with the whole globe. And so, beautiful soul, share a little bit more as to this mission that we went on.
We were invited by Heart of Our Planet to take this journey, to travel and do planetary grid work. Even though at that time we were not fully aware of what we are about to experience as we take this trip, as we take this journey. Myself personally, I knew that as we go for this adventure, we would be discovering initiations within that we have received once upon a time in previous lifetimes and parallel lifetimes, and we will be unlocking the remembrance of something that we have already known yet seemed to have lost connection to in this lifetime. And as we were on this journey, each day was bringing up so much remembrance. The energy of this trip is still working in our field and still helping us to anchor even more light into different planetary grids in this time and space continuum as we travel all over the world. And right now we are in Australia, in Melbourne, yet I personally, I live in New Zealand and I spend a lot of time in Bali. So we carry these codes, we carry this DNA of light, and no matter where we go, we share this light with other people, and we help to anchor this light into the consciousness of planet even more. On this adventure that we took a couple of months ago, we were witnessing a lot of majesty that this physical realm has for us. It's interesting how when we leave our human journey, we seem to co-create with the linear time. So we see the beginning of life from the moment we are born into physicality, and we perceive the ending of physical life when we depart from the physical plane. And since the moment the soul arises into physicality, we are impacted by external energetic dynamics. We receive so much from external sources, starting from society, starting from the media, and so on. Everywhere we go, we perceive information and we receive that information. And information always taps us into duality. Information that we receive from external sources always takes us further and further, deeper and deeper onto the journey of exploration, the truth. Yet the truth is always within. This is why this podcast is called Legacy of Light, because the light is within. And once we connect to the inner realms of light, duality gets automatically transcended. And on this adventure that we had a couple of months ago, we were taking beautiful we were taking beautiful trips through Italy, Greece, and Egypt. And as soon as we started connecting to the land of Greece and feeling the essence of consciousness of the land and the energetic field that is so strongly preserved on that land, a lot of pieces were not clicking together as we were receiving information from our tour guides about gods of Olympia and Greek gods and how they were having their very interesting and peculiar dynamics that were completely not resonant from what I was receiving through my own channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and Gaby, she had similar experiences, and we were discussing about this. We were discussing this afterwards, and we were fascinated how information that was passed on generation after generation was not coding humanity with codes of unity and inviting people to go deeper into their hearts and connect to the truth within and resonate with love and light. Yeah, those stories and legends were only giving us examples of something that took place in lower and middle realms.
And so to go a little bit deeper into this, because we want to share with you the truth, the truth behind the myths and legends of the gods and goddesses of Greece and Egypt, because wow, there are libraries of divine light, libraries so vast in knowledge and wisdom of the universe that are literally sitting in the quantum field, in the dust of Egypt, in the quantum of Greece, ready for anyone to now receive with their full heart. And I just remember that, for me, I found myself, we were in Athens, and we were on a cruise ship. We got off the cruise ship and we found ourselves an awesome driver. We were a group of us. How many of us? Was there 5 or 6 on the cruise ship? Wow, I'm trying to think. Five.
Five.
Five of us on the cruise ship. Like I had to count. And so we got ourselves an awesome, beautiful driver who suggested that we go visit the temple of Poseidon. And as soon as he said it, we were like, yes, oh my gosh, that feels incredible. And so off we went in the car. And as we entered the temple of Poseidon, I'm walking towards the temple. There's like a small section of ruins left. And even though like it's actually like a temple, I'm seeing this massive architecture. I'm remembering from, different versions of myself what this actually looked like, in a different slice of time. And I say to Polinka, oh my gosh, this used to be so huge. And she says, yes, it was massive. And we're both like, this is how big it was. And we're like, just having these incredible remembrances. And then I was guided to sit on a specific rock. And as I sat on this specific rock, Poseidon came to me with so much love in his heart, a beautiful, loving presence, and gave me light technology that I placed into my field. And I knew in that moment that part of my mission was to collect a set of keys and open up an ascension portal that had been active during the times eons ago where the Greeks and gods came. Yet we got to remember one thing: when the Greek gods as we perceive them came, they are different to the way that we've remembered them in our history and in our myths. And so we will share a bit more as the story continues on that. Yet here I was receiving this light. Here I was feeling so much love from Poseidon, the most beautiful, benevolent being of crystalline love, had shared something with me. And then on the next day, we found ourselves on our ship, anchoring in Mykonos, getting on another small boat ship thing and traveling to Delos. Delos is an island, the largest agricultural site in Europe, and it's literally the ruins of an ancient Greek city. There is so much there. You could spend days there. As soon as our ship arrived to Delos, so many of the gods and goddesses came to meet us, greeting us onto the land. And we traveled with our private guide from section to section. The first place that we went to was Artemis's temple, where for myself, Artemis met me in the quantum with so much love, and instantly I remembered countless lifetimes with her, countless missions that we had had on Earth and beyond. It was like this awesome, reunion in the quantum where we giggled and we played. And then she started to initiate me in the next initiation. And I said to her, I'm like, oh, is this the next key? And as the frequency was coming to me, the light that Poseidon had given me had formed into a crystal architecture within my field. And she just looked at me, and I knew instantly that I wasn't being given keys. I was becoming the key. I was reinitiating my goddess avatar, my Greek goddess avatar, from all the different incarnations that I'd had inside of this collective. And my family, that Artemis was part of my family. And all I could feel was love. All I could feel was such a gorgeous remembrance. After which we went to Apollo's temple. And in Apollo's temple, my whole spine, Apollo initiated my whole spine to turn gold, my skull to turn gold. Every single temple, everywhere we went, I was transforming. We found ourselves climbing up a very, very, very big hill to Zeus's temple. Like the steps went on and on and on and on into the heavens, really. The
stairway to heaven.
The stairway to Zeus's heaven. And at the top of this beautiful island, on the toppest peak was Zeus's temple, and the view is magnificent. Oh my goodness, the frequency is so divine. And once again, Zeus was initiating more aspects of my avatar, my goddess avatar, where my goddess wings, my Greek goddess wings activated. And there's these gold plates on my shoulders with these cute little white wings. And at first I was like, well, that's kind of cute. And then fourth later, they opened. And as they open, they get so large and big. And of course, as each technology was coming back into form for myself, it was bringing codexes and libraries with it. And my trip, was taking me on this journey where I was connecting. We went to Olympia and I was connecting with Hera, Zeus's partner. And Hera is the most beautiful being. I mean, they're all amazing. They're all just the love frequency, their devotion. When they came to Earth, they came because Earth is a utopian playground. They came to play, they came to enjoy, and they came to co-create with Gaia, anchoring beautiful, sacred technology, portal networks of ascension into the higher realms, love frequency, abundance frequency, literally supporting Gaia, to evolve and ascend even more into a utopia that she is. Ultimately, though, really they came here on a holiday to play because Gaia is so magnificent. Her oceans, her rivers, her waterfalls, her forests, everything about this planet. And they took a certain avatar form, not quite the same as ours, but they were able to take a humanoid type avatar form to be able to experience that and taste and, really enjoy this beautiful realm of existence. And they shared teachings with the beings. They literally shared teachings that birthed the civilization of Atlantis, which we'll share a little bit more on. We'll go deeper on this in another episode. Yet they had a fundamental part to play in beautiful pockets of golden ages, the ones we know as the Greek gods and goddesses, the Apollo, the Zeus, every one of them benevolent, every one of them beautiful. And then on the flip side, where myself and Polinka are spending time with these beautiful benevolent beings in the quantum, receiving, remembering, having countless, memories embody so fast, and our own goddess technologies coming back online. And then we've got the guides, like we're on these little tours and the guides are telling us stories that just don't make any sense, like Zeus was a whoremonger. Apparently Zeus was this horny god who just kept sleeping with all the chicks and making all these demigods. And Hera, his wife, got really
She
jealous and
was a
upset.
jealous
She was
one.
very upset about this. And so apparently she even tried to kill Hercules with snakes and drama, like so much drama inside of the history of the gods. And honestly, like, how can I put it to you? It's like, do you know someone really beautiful and good that you know them in and out, you know that they are a gorgeous being, you trust them fully with your heart, with your life? Well, think of this person. Now imagine if someone was to turn around and tell you that that same person, that's the most gorgeous, loving, caring person that you've ever met in your life, is also a mafia boss, and has a, I don't know, like something completely out of the box, like is harvesting organs, or like doing something creepy, quite frankly. It just doesn't gel. And both of us we're both just like, what is it? How is it that, there's these echoes, that the messages that have been left behind are not the teachings of the gods. They're not teaching how to, it's like almost none of the teachings are left. There's just these dramatic stories.
Absolutely, absolutely. The importance of knowing the truth is because we all are part of oneness. We all are part of one big creation. We have within our DNA of our brothers and sisters, of our ancestors. We have the DNA of gods. We have the same source consciousness within. So when we are tapping into the channel of communication within human awareness, heart consciousness, soul consciousness, and the infinite intelligence, we recall the true history of human race. We recall the true history of Gaia. We recall the truth from within. And it's important because as we continue this journey of exploration, as we continue this journey in human physical form, we have to be aware what we are resonating with. Are we resonating with stories that were passed on by other beings? Or are we resonating with the truth within?
Mm.
And truth within is always very simple, is very simple, and within this simplicity, the legacy of light resides. So we are super excited to be um, facilitating this experience and inviting all beautiful souls to connect to their own heart, to connect to the sovereign channel within, to receive information from the libraries of light within your own DNA. And as you explore inner realms, you get to know the whole universe that is around us. And this is how legacy of Greek gods and goddesses, Egyptian gods and goddesses gets revealed to us. As we learn about them, we learn about ourselves. When we are hearing stories about drama, about conflict, about gods being jealous and punishing each other and discriminating, it only plants seeds of more separation, of more distortion, and more conflict. And those stories are not originally designed to sugarcoat weaknesses and arrogance and insecurities. The true history of humanity, the true history of Gaia and legacy of light is a beautiful invitation that is sent out by our brothers and sisters, families of light, beings of light, gods, in infinite, eternal light forms, divine intelligence, sent out to us invitations so we recall who we truly are, so we remember what our original intention for this life was. And as we explore this human adventure in human form, we discover so much about what the universe has for us to explore, to tap into, and to receive. Beautiful. Through our own sovereign channel. And the way we do that is by staying present and by honoring internal sensations, honoring the voice of our own heart. As when we were in Olympia, we went to, this is a beautiful example. I just find it quite funny because Gaby and I, even though we had this shared experience, but we were having our individual journeys within the shared experience. We went on a tour, and the tour guide was quite full of alternative stories that none of us resonated. So I just took my shoes off and I went completely to connect to the rocks and the mineral kingdom, because I receive a lot through minerals and through the everlasting rock, the stone consciousness.
And I went off with the trees. So
trees.
I was literally the trees. Like when we arrived to Olympia, the tree network had said, you're
Yeah.
going to receive through us today. And so because the root system is interconnected with the whole libraries, and it's anyway, so Paulinka's off touching rocks. I'm off placing my hands on trees, off like path to the tour. And there's our tour guide with the people doing his thing. That's right. That's what we do when we go on on trips.
Yeah, this is how traveling with us looks like.
Right.
It's touching hands.
Anyway.
Absolutely. So we were connecting to the infinite intelligence of planet Earth through different network systems. I was receiving information through the consciousness of rocks, and Gaby, as she said, through the network of trees. And yet what we have received was so similar. It was the same legacy, it was the same library of light. And meanwhile, we were listening to the stories that our guide was sharing us, which was completely out of alignment with something that felt so divine that we have received through our own sovereign channel. In Olympia, I was greeted by the coach who was training and facilitating training for gods. Yes,
what does that mean?
And here it gets very juicy. Right now, on this physical plane of existence, we have Olympic Games, where each country represents their skills and the quintessence of their athleticism and their physical expression, strength, and so on. Skills, physical skills.
Yep.
Yet what I have received through the coach who was training Olympian gods, that originally Olympia was the land that was coded with precise frequency that supports integration and embodiment of divine source consciousness into physicality,
Mm.
anchoring God's source essence into the body. And that is why different disciplines, different ways of embodiment, and different attributes were created, different faculties such as running, such as jumping, such as climbing and swimming, because each one of each discipline was helping to anchor specific codes into deep levels
Mm.
and layers of physicality and body consciousness. So this is how gods were coming into physical plane of existence and merging, fusing their physical avatar bodies with their divine intelligence.
Mm.
There was no room for competition. It was one celebration, and all beautiful muses, beautiful feminine beings were sitting on rocks and just inspiring beautiful gods to continue participating in this cosmic event.
Mm.
And dear ones, we are no different. We are the same infinite beings. We are part of oneness. Each soul has a legacy of its own, and we came here into this physical plane to remember that, to recall that, and to anchor our soul light into our physical body. And sports, Olympic Games, and all those external manifestations of this dynamic are simply representations of how important it is to embody self, yet not to compete with each other, not to look into amplifying distortion, yet also embodying self,
Yeah.
embodying God's source intelligence, and creating this Eden once again.
I love this because when we were there, Palinka's like, this was the gym of the gods, but
Yeah.
not a kind of not the type of gym that we go to, where we just work on our muscles. This is an embodiment, an embodiment gym. And when we look at what does it really mean for the physical body to ascend, our physical body ascends when we embody more of our soul consciousness. So even like as we traveled through Greece, every place I went to, a different piece of my Greek goddess avatar body would come into place. And by the end of the trip, I had, like a goddess crown embedded, activated within the physical avatar, or the quantum aspect of the physical avatar. Jewelry, full outfits, wings, like, and all gold, like the gold of the gods, which is a very different gold than the gold in our jewelry. It's it's extremely powerful. It's able to absorb energy from the central sun and like activate and charge, connect us,
Amplified.
yes, amplify,
Yeah.
connect us even deeper into the stream and flow of source consciousness, God consciousness, to co-create with even greater precision as one unified, loving, consciousness with the universe. And this is part of embodiment. This is part of bringing into the physical body, having our physical body's DNA open and initiate. There's so much more that we're unlocking and unpacking. And Olympia was a playground for the gods to have more and more of their beautiful goddess consciousness anchor even deeper, into their avatars. And there they could anchor even more libraries of pure crystalline light and love and abundance, because the god and goddess realm is a benevolent realm, just like the angelic realm is a benevolent realm. And I kind of feel like it's important to talk about this for a moment, is a realm of benevolent, beautiful, ascended beings that are co-creating and are serving the creation of the higher realms of our universe. And so much love, so much love. The love quotient is this big. It's like if you're watching the video, it's like this. It's so big. And just by being around the gods and goddesses for these many weeks, I feel like my own love quota expanded beyond measure. And this is part of why we have launched this show to share with all of humanity, which we'll touch base on when we cover more of like what happened in Egypt. Yet, taking this moment to invite everyone to honor their own sovereign channel, to to know and allow love to be the guiding force, to know that at the highest level of it, beings of the most advanced consciousness are beings that hold an extremely large quotient of love. Love is the most potent frequency, and abundance with it. That when we really look at what source consciousness is made of love, made of abundance, and a library of crystalline light. And phew, it was a pleasure and an honor to go on this journey. And then, as we traveled, as we beautifully traveled along our quest, we honestly thought Greece was amazing. Like, we were like, whoa, that was incredible. We found ourselves after traveling through the different places and different temples around Greece. We anchored and we were guided to go to a planet called Ikaria. Ikaria is a blue zone planet. A planet. I don't.
I
It's
know,
an
planet
island,
Ikaria.
but it kind of feels like a planet. We were guided to go to an island.
We went to
We went to a
planet
planet.
Ikaria a couple of months ago.
Just, as you do on a lazy August.
It's an island.
It's an island, yet it kind of feels like a planet. What is interesting about Ikaria, and it literally called us. It's not a known island, so I knew that when we were curating this trip, I knew like I was being called by a specific island, yet I didn't know its name. And for quite a couple of months leading up to the trip and planning everything, we were looking, like I was looking at islands to see which one, and it was, like looking at Rhodes and Crete and others to anchor after our cruise. And as much as all of them are lovely and amazing, it was like, no, no, no. And then I was guided to just Google, like, unique islands in Greece, and poof, out popped a few different ones. And as soon as I saw Ikaria, like when you just know, like your whole soul family, all your guides are like, yay, she finally found it.
She got it.
She got it. Oh, that was a big mission getting her to find that one. And then as I looked into what this island was, what this planet was, what this island was, it's a blue zone island or blue zone. And what that means is people live a really long time on Ikaria. Like 100 is pretty normal, and they don't have Alzheimer's. Like, so many reporters have gone to interview the locals on this, I keep wanting to say planet, on this island.
I just call it planet.
It's a planet. And so we knew that the codes of longevity were really present here. And it was exciting to go there, yet what we weren't expecting was when we went there, my gosh, the frequency was so pure, so crystalline, so just, it was like I felt like I'd never breathed air before. That was like the first time I'd breathed, the first time I saw something. Every one of us, we met some extra friends there as well who joined us on that part of the mission. And oh my goodness, like we all loved it there so much. You would swim in the ocean, and I kid you not, the water had this magic to it where when you got out, you didn't have like salty, itchy skin. Like you didn't even need to wash the salt off, which for me, normally when I swim in oceans, I do. Just the frequency of everything. And so what I was shown was the whole island is an ascension portal. It's one of, now this is, hold on to your galactic socks and your galactic hat for this one. It's literally one of the only still active portals from from the god and goddess era. A lot of the portals and technologies and grids had closed down or become dormant in the quantum, and so a lot of mission souls on the planet are literally running around doing grid work and portal work, being called to travel all over the planet, consciously and most unconsciously reopening ancient technologies that have been here, reinitiating portals or upgrading them, renovating them, so to speak. This one had stayed open. It hadn't been closed. It was like it had been existing in its own alternate reality all of this time, still holding these beautiful frequencies. And wow, when we were in Greece, one of my missions was to reopen a portal network of ascension with the gods, the goddesses, saints, ascended masters. It was one huge, beautiful mission. And the Ikarian island is literally one of the portals. There are many, many interconnected portals, predominantly existing within the quantum, some in the air grids, some in the ocean grids, some in the earth grids, and interconnecting all over the planet, offering humanity, offering not just humanity, offering every living fractal, a tree, insect, a drop of water, everything on this planet, a pathway into and stabilizing into the higher realms of Gaia, of our planet. And why that's important is we really want to share, before we go deep into like sharing what happened in Egypt and why we were asked to create this podcast and how we were asked to do it by Isis and Hathor and the other beautiful gods and goddesses of what we link to Egypt. It's important to share first with you about the realms of existence, because not everyone is aware that there are realms on our planet. For the most part, one of the greatest illusions on Earth for many, many beings is that there's one Earth, that there's one planet, and there's a shared reality happening between every single person, and everything is happening on one playground. And this is actually not accurate. Technically, there are countless versions of Gaia, countless versions of our planet. And those of us, with the decisions we make, with the choices we make, with the ascension journey we go on, we actually end up on different planets, very far away from others. Some of us in our ascension journey have found ourselves drifting apart from people we used to be close with. And it's like those people live on another planet. Feel into the truth of this, that you might be interconnected by social media with these people, but your worlds don't seem to collide anymore. It's literally a feeling like they're on a different version of Earth and you're on a different version of Earth, because we are. Yet beyond this, I want to address realms of existence that often so many times I've had clients or people share that they want to be on their highest timeline. And sometimes it's not the highest timeline shift that we're actually requiring in order to anchor into the life of our dreams. It's a realm shift. I want to talk about the realms. We want to talk about the realms with you, because when we look at the realms of existence, there are the higher realms of existence, the middle realms of existence, and the lower realms of existence. And depending on which realm of existence we anchor into, will determine the realities, the narratives, the stories, what we channel through our channel as well. And let me explain what they are, because the first thing to get is that all reality is created with frequency. So when we look at physical reality, it is a frequency web. Behind the physical architecture of it, it is a quantum frequency web that, shows itself up as something physical. And in the lower realms of existence, the frequencies that people co-create with consciously and often very unconsciously are fear, guilt, shame, pain, suffering. Predominantly though, there's fear. Fear is a really big one, really, really big way. Survival is massive. Survival and fear. And survival and fear frequencies create very specific realities. Inside of that frequency, someone will attract people around them that will drive that narrative, and or attract information that drives that narrative. This is the realm of enslavement, because if we're in survival and we're in fear, then that naturally has us recreate realities like this. The middle realms of existence are the realms of judgment and control and status. And so for those that are driven by status and control and power and judgment, they're creating more of the middle realms of existence, which, to be honest, the general population of the collective consciousness of Earth is more of a middle realm planet. There are, of course, lower realm aspects. So to give you an example of this, like mafia, crime, war, are things that are made of the lower realms of existence. The middle realms of existence create realities like governments, and with respect, a lot of control, a lot of organized religions, schooling systems. And when we look at law, it's like creating an architecture where a lot of people don't feel like they've truly got freedom. Family rules, like rules, control, 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 that there is a way to behave, to be enough, to be loved, to belong. And for a lot of people, they live within this architecture where their own dreams aren't even necessarily theirs. They're dreaming dreams they have been programmed to dream. And they're working towards lives that will make their parents proud, make society see them as successful, as, and it's all done for the approval of others, to belong, to be loved, to be accepted. At core, subconsciously, the driver in the middle realms is I am not enough. And this is also a susceptibility that can have someone anchor into the middle realms and create or, recreate realities in them. Now, I want to share the higher realms because in the higher realms, we co create with love, with joy, with excitement, with wonder, with acceptance, and with compassion. The gods and goddesses are higher realm beings. They co-create with love, with compassion, with joy, with care, with wonder, with enjoyment. And when they have come to this planet, they've shared those frequencies. Yet, if people were in a consciousness in the lower realms or the middle realms of existence, they could only perceive them through those filters. So they would project onto them. Haven't you ever had anyone project onto you something that wasn't you? Exactly. That's what happened to the gods and goddesses, that the beings were projecting, making stuff mean stuff. And then the projections were the stories that got carried on in history. There's more to this. We've got deeper stuff to share on Egypt, yet we trust that you're feeling this. Now, what this also means, though, is that when we choose love, when we truly choose love and compassion and as our guiding force, we're invited on an ascension journey to let go of judgment, to let go of control, to let go of fear and scarcity and survival, to remember who we truly are, which are infinite, eternal, powerful gods and goddesses of not only realities and timelines, of worlds and universes. Is there anything you'd like to add to the realms of existence?
Absolutely, of course. We have to remember that we exist everywhere, in every dimension, in every reality, in every realm, simultaneously. As Gabby already shared, there is not just one version of planet Earth. There is not just one reality. There is infinity,
An
an abundance of realities, of realms of existence, infinite and more than infinite, ever increasing number of beautiful, beautiful multitudes of different frequencies and configurations. So we have to anchor into remembrance that we are infinite beings. Yes, we have separate bodies. Yes, we look differently. We speak different languages. We live in different parts of the earth. Yet, our soul is infinite. Our soul is everywhere. And we are fractals of divine God source consciousness. So every being, every creation, physical, non-physical in the universe, is directly linked to us, is directly linked to our DNA. The reason why duality exists, so all sorts of configurations of interactions of different energetic patterns and types of consciousness can be explored. And this is how evolution happens. This is what breathes in life into creation, all sorts of creation. And we have to understand that the split between dimensions, lower realms, middle realms, and higher realms, exists within each one of us. So before looking out into the external world and seeing conflict and seeing extreme abundance, seeing extremes, we have to see how we are resonating with that duality. So in order to shift into another versions of ourselves, in order to shift into higher timelines, into higher realms, We have to look deep within ourselves and make a choice.
And what's that choice?
What frequency do I want to co create with? What do I want to create and multiply? Because we are creators. It's a very common expression that we create our realities, we are the creators, we create our life as we go.
That's right. And it sounds
Yeah,
really good until
sounds
you don't want to
incredible.
take responsibility for something you
Yeah,
created.
yeah. Yet, what being created means, it means that we make a choice and we birth the way light and love and abundance works. All these essences are one. It is the essence of love, light, life itself. Life multiplies, life enhances, life amplifies. So it is a choice. What do we want to amplify? Do we want to amplify unity,
Yes, we do.
harmony, joy, prosperity, wisdom, peace, celebration? And if that's the choice we want to make, we have to create aligned actions. We have to be aware of our frequency of thoughts, frequency of our words, actions, our daily reality. We have to claim responsibility for everything that there is in our field. Yet, if we are still very curious about exploring duality and scarcity, then it's a choice of making uh, our actions, our thoughts still aligned to the truth. And truth is the common ground. This planet Earth was created as a diplomatic field for all beings to explore their ascension, to explore their journey, to explore co creation with different species, to explore the multitude, all spectrum of light embodied, experienced in physical plane of existence. So realms of existence, they are within us. It is not a physical location that we suddenly just relocate ourselves. We relocate ourselves to a whole different frequency field inside. And that frequency field gets expressed and manifests in our external reality.
I love that distinction too, because often people, there is quite a lot of people on their ascension journey who do see the lower realms as something outside of themselves, who, want to kind of go to war with it. And it's an interesting concept to want to go to war in the lower realms and fight, because technically, who are we going to war with? This guy, ourself. And the opportunity for us in our ascension is a different pathway. It's to cultivate the very susceptibility and frequencies within us that are having us find ourselves creating or tapping into more of the realities that are lower realm or middle realm realities. If we look around us and our reality does look, like it's like, but you could say, but Gabby, I do have to follow the law and I do have to, do all these things because if not, I'll go to jail. I have to comply with going to work and getting a mortgage and, I have to like, and, like I have to do these things. If you tell me I have to, I'm stuck in the middle realms of existence. I have no choice. I would say to you, it's not about running away. Some people try and redo this by literally quitting their jobs and moving to nature and very soon run out of money and find that that didn't quite work for them, because it's not a physical thing. It's not about changing the physical. It's not about going and protesting and fighting what's happening in the middle realms of existence or the lower realms. The actual pathway is to go within and ask, what within me? What within me is still judging others, and to let go of judgment. What within me is still wanting control and taking a big journey of releasing control and beautifully surrendering into the receiving of all there is. It's taking a journey inside of us to let go of a need for power, for status, for fame, for such things. And as we do this, as we ascend these aspects of ourselves, we cultivate more love. Ultimately, with each particle, you could either go and work on releasing judgment, Or you could just go and expand love. If we just focus on expanding love, like every day, asking, how can I bring more love into my life? How can I bring more compassion? What would love do? What would love see? How would love see this situation? Choosing to sovereignly channel love. If we choose to co-create with the frequency of love, then love itself will work in our field and transmute and ascend every aspect of fear, of scarcity from the lower realms, of survival and of control and of judgment in the middle realms of existence. It's incredible. And, for us to also understand that the frequency of love is a living consciousness, that when we do this, it's when we're choosing to call love in, this is what it means to choose love as our guiding force, that we consciously choose to co-create with love as a frequency. Creators of worlds know that their paint is frequency, that their brush is the choice of which frequency they create realities
I love it.
with. And ones that have forgotten to create are like a wind, a leaf flowing in the wind and thinking the wind gets to take them everywhere. No, we choose. When we choose to co-create with love and we choose to expand love and we choose to invite love in every day, our love expands. And then we anchor into the configuration of frequency of love. And then we open our eyes and we find ourselves in the higher realms of existence, not because the world changed. The middle realms still exist and the lower realms still exist. We're just not there. And the more of us around the world that do this, now imagine with me, if the majority of people on the planet remembered that they're creators of worlds, remembered how to create, remembered to choose frequency like an artist chooses their paint, and chose to co-create with love every day, chose to co-create with compassion every day, and over time found themselves in higher realm realities, what would happen? Well, we would be on a new earth. This is how we co-create a new golden age, a new earth, by choosing this pathway. Eventually, every single soul comes to a precipice in their ascension journey where the focus is less around healing and transmuting density, and it simply gets to be and co-creating with contrast, because when we're still very much enmeshed in co-creating in dualistic experiences, then we're going to have contrast invite us to ascension, meaning we'll have situations occur that wake us up, that have us reflect, that have us learn. And of course we can turn around and say thank you for that ex-husband, thank you for that ex-wife, thank you for all the things, and see the gift in them, and that is a wonderful pathway. Yet there comes a time where we can say, I feel complete with co-creating with contrast and duality, and instead I choose to daily self-reflect and I choose to daily co-create with love, as opposed to being that leaf flying in the wind and ending up somewhere. I choose to be the wind. I choose to create all of this myself. And from this place, oh my goodness, more and more and more people ascend, evolve, and enter the versions of themselves that already exist. The version of all of us in the higher realms of existence already exists. And and this is what's interesting, that there's a whole new set of timelines there. You could be in the middle realms of existence, wanting to be on your highest timeline, thinking it's a timeline shift, yet there are timelines in each realm. And if you're on your highest timeline in the middle realms, you're still in the middle realms, which means there's still control, there's still judgment, there's still, all of this going on. Whereas the highest realm, highest timelines, oh my goodness, deliciousness. And this is also where we get to unlock Gaia's true history and libraries of
Exactly.
pure benevolent light.
Exactly. I love it. I love what you're sharing, Gabby. I would like to add that when we choose to listen to the voice of our own heart and act upon it, we tap upon this godly courage. And when we co create with love, when we speak as love, when we act as love, when we think as love, we by default automatically unplug ourselves from any pre-created metric system. There are infinite ways of how one can ascend, liberate, and raise the frequency. Infinite pathways, anything that you can imagine exists. You can be a warrior of light. You can be fighting. You can be exploring your strength and courage and power through conflict, yet you are still plugged into the paradigm of conflict. So you are still
Creating.
existing,
Yeah.
creating, and even stabilizing the paradigm of conflict within yourself. So, therefore, your human experience will be mirroring that. You will be attracting people into your life with this conflict codes within them.
Yeah.
There would be argument, competition, and power struggle, and so on. Yet, the ultimate, the most way of rest resistance, ease, grace, spaciousness, is simply allowing yourself to become authentic.
Mm.
And we have to remember that each step is taking us further and further from something that does not resonate with our divinity. And it takes us closer and closer and closer to the God source within us, to this infinite intelligence, power, strength, wisdom, soul, light within our own self. So, the ultimate way of co creation with love is actually beginning to listen to your own intuition, listen
Mm.
to the choices that your heart is inviting you to take and not your mind. Because our mind is this infinite computer that plugged into infinite dimensions and at every single second streaming so much data from all over the space. Mind can be controlled, mind can be programmed. Yet we have to be fully sovereign
Mm.
to completely transcend all duality and no longer resonate with it. And it all begins with the portal of the heart. This is why many grid workers and people who travel all over the work and all over the world and consciously do this planetary work where we activate portals, we purify them, we close down portals to lower realms. We are the tools and expression of Gaia in physical form. We are the extension of heart of Gaia.
Mm.
Portal work on a planet Earth and receiving information from source consciousness is directly taking us to receiving source consciousness within through the portal of our heart. So, in this message, I'm trying to invite all beings who are listening to this podcast to tune into your own system and ask yourself a question: how can I be choosing myself today? What am I about? Who am I? Am I still willing to be playing the games I've been playing, the games that I have been born into, the structures that I have been born into, or invited, or I joined those structures out of fear, ignorance, because I was seeking security, love, validation, control, or so on? Or am I simply enough because I am love? And as we are tapping into this I am love, I am presence consciousness, our journey begins to take us closer and closer to the God essence within. We merge with higher timelines, we stabilize in a higher frequency. As we make one step towards divinity, divinity takes infinite steps towards us. We are always supported, we are always guided by our soul light and gods and goddesses, star races, angels, archangels, all the beings of light. They are our family, and at the same time they are different expressions of us. This is why we hear and we share a lot about unity consciousness. What unity consciousness ultimately means is acceptance, allowance of all,
Yeah.
in resonance with the frequency that unites all beings throughout universe, throughout multiverses, which is love. Yay!
Love. And I love this, and anchoring even deeper still, that for those of you that are listening to this and you're like, yes, this resonates, yet, well, what happens when I do feel fear? What happens when I do feel scarcity and I don't feel safe? What do I do in those moments? It's easy to say, hey, choose love. So there's two things I want to address. One, how to co-create with the frequency of love, and two, Often people don't know the difference between what their mind is telling them to do and what their heart or their soul slash higher self is saying. And so I felt that we could share a little bit of this, in the completion of this episode. And I'm also feeling like episode 2 will be about Egypt.
Oh,
What do
yeah.
you feel like? It's going to be
Yes.
up. Yeah. Because, and so, Maktiana. And for those of you that are new, every now and then we may speak light language or do some beautiful coding with our hands if you're watching the video, or work with sound technologies, which that was then, and allow yourself to receive that through your heart. So firstly, if ever you're in a situation where you feel scarcity or fear, and yes, you're aware of the fact that the awareness is first, it's like, I'm currently feeling this, even though I know that co-creating with love and abundance will have me birth and create realities of my choosing. My authentic truth right now is I am afraid. And and as opposed to shutting that down, and trying to put icing on a mud pie, meaning it's not about pretend that's not there and be like, love, 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 love. It's actually around bringing the frequency of love to that fear, meaning, okay, allow love to surround that fear, allow yourself to receive a full cocoon of love while that fear is present. Hold that fear in love. A lot of people push away their fears, their hurts. They push away the things that don't feel as good, or they bury them deeply, or they get lost in them. So they'll either go straight into the center of it and have that be the light that projects realities, or they will push it away. And so the invitation is to simply be curious and conscious and be like, oh, okay, a fear's come up. Oh, it's interesting. And insecurities come up, and observe it like a loving angel. How would a loving angel see this right now? A god or a goddess would hold your fear with so much compassion and love and let you know everything's okay and ask you what you need. And so this is that if you are feeling these other frequencies, allow yourself to hold them in love, and then take the journey to transform them, to ascend them. That could be working, with a beautiful ascension mentor and coach, potentially even joining one of our gorgeous offerings and programs if you feel excited, or somebody else's. Working one-on-one with healers can also be really supportive if you identify that there are frequencies in your field, because what happens is there could be programs and frequencies embedded in your field you may not have yet the technology to extract your own programs and be your own coder, but there are plenty of them around the world. The difference is, are we choosing, this is choice to co-create with love. One, has us bring love into every moment. And then two, if there is something within us that we can't shift ourselves, we go and take that to somebody that can support us, because we deserve to have only love co-create with us, and we have the ability to reprogram ourselves. And there are so many tools out there. So first, if there's anything that comes into the field other than love, please bring love in. There's also another sidebar on this, where love does not mean people pleasing. It does not mean sacrifice. It does not mean being someone's doormat. Please know this, that being loving is not the same as fawning to somebody else's needs to make them happy. This is not the case. True love frequency is such a beautiful, benevolent frequency that it does not need to save anybody, rescue anybody, appease anybody so they don't get upset. True love can communicate truth in such a beautiful, benevolent way. And so wish to anchor this, because there are people out there that hear teachings of let love be your guiding force, yet what they end up doing is creating realities where they're being other people's doormats. Love does not do that. Love sees the greatness in somebody else. Love calls another person to their greatness. Love does not rescue. Love activates leadership. Love activates sovereignty. Love activates gods and goddesses. It initiates them. Does this resonate? And then on the other side of this, if you're still navigating the space of the messages that you receive, are they coming from my soul, from higher self, from love, from heart, or are they coming from my mind? Check the frequency. Your soul will always, 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 always sound like love. It will never sound like fear. It won't be a warning. If we get warnings, and if it feels like fear, if it feels like judgment, it is coming from the mind. The mind can literally create emotions. The mind can create simulated emotions where we can feel, which is confusing, like, to be like, is this your true emotional field, or did your mind just replicate fear and you think you're feeling fear? Often people's relationship within their own emotional world is quite young and they're unable to discern. So begin with this. If this is helpful, that you're looking for a frequency. If the frequency within your field is guiding you and you feel expansive, then that is your soul. If you feel contracted, it's not. It's a fabrication of the mind, and sit with it longer. Now, that doesn't mean that your guidance won't say, not right now. There's another time that's higher for you. Yet it will come in a loving tone. It won't be, no, don't do that. Warning, warning, warning.
Beware.
That's right. It'll simply say, there is an even higher time for you to take this course of action. I see people, not step into the next timeline of their ascension, the next timeline of their life, into new realities, because they're afraid of change. And they think the guidance within them is telling them to stay comfortable because it feels better to stay here. It's like, oh, it feels better here. It feels scary to go there. Yet when we cultivate a relationship with the consciousness of love, and we learn how to channel our higher self and our soul, the guidance that comes through is so precise, and it just gets more and more and more precise, and it's effortless to walk and live a life of true alignment in the higher realms of existence. Yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Ta-da.
Follow your excitement, follow your curiosity, and follow the
And have the
frequency.
courage, though, to do that, because sometimes
Yes.
it takes courage. It's like, oh, I'm excited to go experience this, do this, step into this, follow my dream here. And sometimes fear can kick in, and this is where we get to hold that and be like, I love you, fear, and look at that new reality. It's available. We can either stay here in the reality we're in and just have the same thing happen, or we can be courageous and we can try something new. And we can hold the fear, in our heart, in our arms, take it by the paw and be like, 1, 2, 3, jump.
Yay. Yes, definitely. Ultimately, it all comes down to a choice. What do we want to experience? Where do we want to go? What do we want to feel? And remember that infinity and all that there is always within us. So even though we are receiving information from external sources, in the voice of internal is always stronger. So in order to shift into more precise frequency of freedom, light, love, happiness, joy, peace, harmony, and celebration, we have to choose to co-create with those frequencies. And we have to remember that we are infinite, sovereign, beautiful, magnificent beings. We are courageous souls who have chosen consciously to choose the journey of humanness, of being a human. And it does not mean lightness only, it means all that there is. It means being a good human, it means being allowing, accepting, honoring oneness within, honoring self, honoring others, uniting with all the qualities within that are taking you closer to light, and being a loving father, mother to all those parts of you that need your nourishment, that need to be hydrated by your unconditional love. We are the ones who are the architects of our own reality, frequency, is not just a fluffy word. Frequency is the shift that humanity is experiencing now, and everything is frequency. When we open our true eyes, not only physical eyes, all that we see around us is the beautiful codes of light, beautiful energetic dynamics, beautiful codes, beautiful geometries, numbers, colors, sounds. This is reality. Listen to the geometry of your own heart. Listen to the ocean within your own heart. Follow the beauty that you see within you and choose what excites you. Our human journey is the journey of exploration. We did not come here to be afraid. We did not come here to doubt or be enslaved by some matrix systems or whatever, whatever can create an illusion of separation and disempowerment.
That's right.
It does not apply to an infinite, magnificent being.
No, we
It
came
is a
just like,
game.
exactly. We
Yes,
came just like the gods and goddesses because we are that, to play, to taste, to experience the utopia that is this magnificent planet and every delicious abundantness that she has to offer.
exactly.
We love you. We
We love
trust
you very much.
that you've enjoyed this beautiful first episode, and we invite you now to join us in episode 2, which will be part 2 of the beautiful truth of the gods and goddesses beyond the myths and legends of them, as we go and deeply share with you Egypt.
The
Ta-da!
legacy of light.
Mwah.
Have we started already?
Yes.
Oh.
See, it's perfect. Ah. Legacy
Welcome.
of light.
Okay. See, that's already started.
It's gorgeous.